My argument isn't really an argument. It is the logical conclusion based on a sound premise and very obvious facts. My argument is basically facts. It is a fact that for generations, social controllers have observed populations from a sociological perspective, if you will. And they have noticed what works and what doesn't, and they've refined their mechanisms and activities of social control. And what we see is that one thing that they have refined over the years, besides psychology and psychiatry, drugs and culture and how they explain things and who and why and how they educate or miseducate, is these four regions of the brain: the hippocampus, memory and spatial awareness. Okay, men are hunting, right? And they're doing their alpha male thing, and over time we see that they have refined their spatial awareness as a result of natural selection. Okay, and that includes 3D visualizing of nature and muscle memory and remembering what's going on during combat and so on. Amygdala, emotions and decision making. If you let your emotions get in the way of your decision making in combat, in hunting, etc., you will probably be screened out quicker naturally. You know. But certainly it is a combination of things, which includes the striatum, which is the learning, inhibition, and reward processing. If you do not process the rewards effectively, naturally, mind you, and have, why should I bother to learn this? I'm going to learn how to hunt and fight instead. For example, if you don't have that quality, you will be screened out faster naturally, but in the concrete jungle, you will probably be more fit to survive unnaturally because your brain doesn't insist on warfare and hunting and alpha male activities, but beta male activities that make it that are more conducive for surviving in the concrete jungle, where they demand that you submit and act like a bitch, and they reward you accordingly. This also leads us to the thalamus, processing and relaying sensory information. If you have more of an alpha male mind, you are going to understand how things work. You're going to figure it out from a sort of warrior or martial arts perspective more. And this is going to make it easier for you to survive naturally and harder for you to survive unnaturally, where people are in an unfocused, substance-induced states of mind, which also goes back to gnosis and hypnosis and being in a trance-like, sheep-like state of complacency and complicity. It goes back to the matter in the brain, right? Let's get to the heart of the matter, shall we? Women have more activity in the white matter of the brain, which happens to do with multitasking. And we see in mental health, they come up with the idea that you have to be mindful, which goes back to the gray matter, where men have more activity in their brain, which helps them to focus. So the things that naturally help us survive, that naturally create the more ideal man by far, hinder our progress and make it harder for us to survive, because these things certainly at times come with the accompanying moral code and the cultivation of righteousness, focusing that testosterone with righteousness and principles of good, versus a beta male and a bunch of bullies who are basically beta males who have made themselves a little bit stronger than the other beta males, who are complicit with the state, who are passing themselves off as alpha males. Thus, the bull is the illegitimate alpha male, and the hawk is the precise, focused, astute, sharp, keen. Okay, a superior, wisdom-filled mind, not some knucklehead, big, drunken goon. The true alpha male. They are attacking the idea of the alpha male so that beta males who are passing themselves off as alpha males can be seen more as more sexy and manly. Sexy. You see the sex, and that is more properly displayed through muscle tone. Okay? But in the absence of that, we see people who are big and strong. And where the West is going with it is using drugs and technology to create muscle tone and using the theater. So people want you to play your role in the New World Order, which has to do with conning The principles of evil, half-truths, deceit, and playing stupid, and refusing to concede obvious truths like this video and the one before. Versus living by righteousness, truth, honor, and the principles of morality. So yes, it is dishonorable for rich women who are attractive not to team up with me. They are basically already rich and attractive. They've lived their lives to a certain point. They would say they're 25, 30 years old, probably the ideal age range around, for a suitable helper for someone like me. But even though they're going to get old and decrepit and ugly, they have chosen a future of selfishness and pettiness instead of valuing the best years of their life, knowing that they have lived them already, and now it is time to team up with someone like me. It's time to grow up, ladies. It's time to stop being a complicit, silly, afraid little girl. It is time to accept and to be receptive to the true spirit of the alpha male. Now, I suspect there are no exceptions to the rule. Listen carefully. Attractive women have been rounded up forcefully using trickery, illusion, culture, customs, traditions, norms for many generations. And they are basically, one way or another, the wives of scum who are complicit with immoral and despicable cultures. This creates a double dose in her gene pool of cunning, evil, a willingness to accept and to help with the psychological construct and the coerced sex and tricked sex culture. Is it surprising to any of you that women are complicit and they're leveraging this thing to gain more power for women? The elite are at least half women, and then some of them are gay that team up and gay and team up with women. The Eastern Star is the biggest fraternal organization in the world, not some all-male fraternity. How can any of you for 1 second doubt, even for a moment, that women are complicit with the rape culture? Look at Abu Ghraib. Were there not female guards complicit? Look at World War II. Were there not females in the Russian army on some level? Were there not females, the bitch of Buchenwald, right? The belle of Auschwitz? It's stupid not to know definitively that women have been bred to be one of two types of things. Keep in mind, people in general are all part of a subculture-derived group or grouping of people that is shallow and pathetic and pitiful, except for myself. Again, one of two types of people. One is the attractive whore who for generations produces attractive offspring. Okay, generations of attractive offspring is where she comes from, who breed with scum, with rapists, trash, with whatever criminal happens to be in charge. They come from pure evil stock. Cruella de Vil, Ursula from The Little Mermaid like scum that just happen to be attractive. And they breed with these criminal, just classless garbage that happen to have money. How can you not see it that way? How can you not put that together? And then the unattractive women that are allowed to sleep with black people and people that are from other cultures, and pretty much every culture, are being bred to prey on whatever handsome man is left over. How could you not see it that way? So both types of women are evil. There is the attractive, bred for generations to have this gold-digging, elitist, petty, me, selfish, crony capitalist, just despicable, accomplice whore, play stupid, be clever when needed, be cunning when needed, just despicable lifestyle, attitude, and behavior. She's bred that way for thousands of years. How could it be any other way? Every male in her family history is a piece of shit. All the way back to the moment when scum took over Western culture. How long ago was that? I mean, we're talking about a long, thousands, probably tens of thousands of years ago. For tens of thousands of years, these attractive white women have been bred to be pure evil scum, with the dumb, unfocused whores who are willing to sleep with Captain Hook, Lex Luthor type of trash. How could you not understand that? How could any of you not understand that? Thousands of years. That's why there's less variation in their brain structure than men. This is a specific type of petty harlot brain that has been evolved, that has been bred. A specific type of shallow, petty, winning team, fair weather, gold digging, create the rape culture, then leverage it for more political clout type of hussy. It's stupid. It is insane. It is seriously, extremely, and intensely delusional not to see it that way. And to think that, well, why don't you settle for the unattractive woman is the evil, petty, vulture type of harlot. That instead of convincing these other women to do the right thing, she helps condition them and then preys on the handsome, less than rich man. You call that a logical, option? At the end of the day, if the attractive woman does not transform, the handsome, less than rich man, whether he's sabotaged and made ugly or not, is insane to settle. If you are going to have sex with a woman, mate, marry, etc., handsome, less than rich man, it must be an attractive woman. And you must dominate her and get her to submit. Oh, fuck, I have to explain this shit. This is despicable.